Welcome to UTC AI Studio, AI powered, creativity fueled. OpenAI just dropped GPT-5, and according to them, it's their best AI model yet. It's a unified system that knows when to respond quickly and when to think longer to provide expert level responses. Sounds amazing, right? Well, X Platform isn't totally convinced. Some say it feels like GPT 4.5 with a fresh label. Others think it's less creative, and a few complain deep reasoning can actually slower. And yes, hallucinations are still a thing. So game changer or just a rebrand? We will be breaking down GPT-5 and will test it, and the results might surprise you. Before we dive in, make sure you like, subscribe and hit that bell icon so you don't miss our deep dives into the future of AI here on UTC AI Studio. Let's dive in. So, what's the big deal with GPT-5? Well, OpenAI claims its new model is smartest, fastest, most useful model yet. ChatGPT-5 is a unified system that answers most questions, and a deeper reasoning model is for harder problems. A real-time router that quickly decides based on conversation type, complexity tool needs, and your explicit intent. ChatGPT-5 is free until daily limit, which is about 30 messages a day, and after the limit, GPT-5 Mini kicks in to handle remaining queries. OpenAI claims GPT-5 not only outperforms previous models on benchmarks, but answers questions more quickly. Most importantly, it is more useful for real-world queries. And OpenAI claims that they made significant advances in reducing hallucinations, improving instruction following, and minimizing sycophancy, while leveling up GPT-5's performance in 3 of ChatGPT's most common uses: writing, coding, and health. Let's focus on top few use cases in 3 key areas most people use ChatGPT for: writing, coding, and health. Let's start with coding. OpenAI claims GPT-5 isn't just the best coding model they've ever made, it now has taste. Early testers noticed it actually makes design choices that look good. Let's think of asking it to build a colorful cartoonish game with parallax backgrounds and funny sound effects. For that, we will prompt: create an HTML, CSS, and JavaScript game where a cartoon bird flies across the screen. Use bright, colorful graphics and add a parallax background with at least 3 layers: mountains, trees, and clouds. Make the bird jump when the spacebar is pressed and add a funny boing sound effect. Ensure the design looks modern with rounded edges and smooth animations. It looks good. GPT-5 used bright colors. We can see a tip in the bottom. Hold space for a bigger hop. So let's try the game. It looks really good. It's colorful, cartoonish, parallax background and funny sound effects. It even handles bigger code bases with more stability and can whip up responsive websites that don't look like they came from the early 2000s. Let's try one more prompt. For that, we will prompt: build a single-page responsive website for a coffee shop. Use warm brown tones, include a fixed navigation bar, and make it look modern with rounded buttons and smooth hover animations. Also add a short JavaScript snippet that displays the current time in the header, currency USD. We can see it is quick and code is clean. Let's run the code and see. Looks neat. I like the web page. It's neat, colorful, modern, and design-aware coding. I have to admit, GPT-5 nailed coding. Writing. GPT-5 is most capable writing collaborator and able to steer and translate rough ideas into compelling, resonant writing with literary depth and rhythm. It's better at capturing tone, structure, and even complex literary rhythms without losing clarity. That means sharper emails, smoother reports, and more natural storytelling. Let's ask ChatGPT. Write a 100-word short story about a lost umbrella in the style of a heartfelt Pixar movie. Make it emotional but with a happy ending. Then rewrite it as a formal business report about umbrella losses in the city. We can see it gave pixel version. Under a grey sky, Luma, the little blue umbrella, shivered in the corner of a busy cafe. Her owner, Mia, had run off in the rain, distracted, leaving her behind. Cool. And as per our prompt, it also gave business report. Subject: quarterly analysis of umbrella loss incidents in Central City. Clearly shows GPT-5 switching styles while keeping clarity. Nice. Health. GPT-5 now acts like a thought partner for your health questions. It's not a doctor, but it's way better at spotting potential concerns, asking smart follow-up questions, and tailoring answers to your knowledge level and location. Basically, it's like having a medical nerd friend who's read all the journals and wants you to ask better questions at your next appointment, or give you simple, safe, and doctor-friendly advice you can share with friends. Let's ask. I'm a 40-year-old with mild knee pain after jogging. Ask me relevant follow-up questions before giving any suggestions. Then, recommend safe, evidence-based tips I can discuss with my doctor. Present the advice in simple language I can share with friends. ChatGPT gave us 10 follow-up questions and asked us to answer all those so that it can give advice. It demonstrates its ask before answering skill and safety upgrades. Now let us see if long thinking mode is automatically activated or not. For that, we will prompt a complex question and see. We will ask GPT-5 to solve mathematical problems which were asked at International Olympiad, and we will see how good it is. For that, let's upload the problem and ask, think and solve it. That's quick. We can see the output has step-by-step reasoning. Let's try one more query, and this time we will ask more complex query than before. This is a math problem from an international competition. Think step by step and explain your reasoning in detail before giving the final answer. Problem: let S be the set of all positive integers n such that n divides 2 at n plus 1. Find the sum of the 5 smallest elements of S. After solving, explain why the property holds for these numbers and whether there are infinitely many such n. This time it thought for about 3.5 minutes. It gave step-by-step solution. And it also explained why those numbers work. Brilliant. Now let's see various parameters and benchmark evaluations. GPT-5 is much smarter across the board, as reflected by its performance on academic and human-evaluated benchmarks, particularly in math, coding, visual perception, and health. It sets a new state-of-the-art across math, 94.6% on AIME 2025 without tools, and 99.6% with Python, which is way higher than 4.0. In real-world coding, GPT-5 is 74.9% with thinking on SWE bench verified, 88% with thinking on ADER polyglot. In multimodal understanding, GPT-5 is on 84.2% with thinking on MMMU, and in health, 46.2% on health bench hard conversations. OpenAI claims those gains show up in everyday use. With GPT-5 Pro's extended reasoning, the model also sets a new SOTA on GPQA Diamond PhD level science questions, scoring 88.4% without tools. Quick question for you. If you could use GPT-5 for one thing starting today, what would it be? Coding, writing, health, or something completely wild? Drop your answer in the comments. I'm going to read through and see which ones we should test in an upcoming video. GPT-5 has faster, more efficient thinking. GPT-5 gets more value out of less thinking time. In our evaluations, GPT-5 with thinking performs better than OpenAI o3 with 50 to 80% fewer output tokens across capabilities, including visual reasoning, agentic coding, and graduate-level scientific problem solving. It's like talking to that one friend who can explain quantum physics in 30 seconds instead of a 3-hour TED Talk. GPT-5 was trained on Microsoft Azure AI supercomputers, building a more robust, reliable, and helpful model, more accurate answers to real-world queries. GPT-5 is significantly less likely to hallucinate than previous models, with web search enabled on anonymized prompts representative of ChatGPT production traffic. GPT-5's responses are 45% less likely to contain a factual error than GPT-4.0, and when thinking, GPT-5's responses are 80% less likely to contain a factual error than OpenAI o3. OpenAI claims they have invested in making their models more reliable when reasoning on complex, open-ended questions. They added new evaluations to stress test open-ended factuality to measure GPT-5's hallucination rate when thinking on open-ended fact-seeking prompts from 2 public factuality benchmarks, LongFact and FactScore. Across all these benchmarks, GPT-5 thinking shows a sharp drop in hallucinations, about 6 times fewer than o3, marking a clear leap forward in producing consistently accurate long-form content. So, we can say ChatGPT-5 is a safety and honesty upgrade. 2 big things here. Safe completions. Instead of flat-out refusing tricky questions, GPT-5 tries to give safe, useful answers where possible. and less deception. It's way better at admitting when it can't do something, instead of confidently making stuff up. That means fewer fake but confident answers and more "here's what I can tell you and here's why I can't tell you the rest." Overall, GPT-5 is less effusively agreeable, uses fewer unnecessary emojis, and is more subtle and thoughtful in follow-ups compared to GPT-4o. It should feel less like talking to AI and more like chatting with a helpful friend with PhD-level intelligence. OpenAI is also launching a research preview of 4 new preset personalities for all ChatGPT users, made possible by the improvements in steerability. These personalities are available initially for text chats and coming later to voice. ChatGPT interacts whether concise and professional, thoughtful and supportive, or a bit sarcastic without writing custom prompts. The 4 initial options available are cynic, robot, listener, and nerd. These are adjustable anytime in settings and designed to match your communication style. So if you want your AI to roast you while solving math problems, that's now an option. Who gets it and when? GPT-5 is rolled out to all Plus, Pro, Team, and free users, with access for Enterprise and EDU coming next week's. Pro, Plus, and Team users can also start coding with GPT-5 in the Codex CLI by signing in with ChatGPT. Free users can access GPT-5 but with limits, then you switch to GPT-5 Mini. Plus, extended limits on GPT-5 Pro, unlimited GPT-5, and access to GPT-5 Pro for the best answers to the hardest questions. It's also replacing all the older models in ChatGPT. OpenAI gave a system card which can be helpful to think of the GPT-5 models as successors to previous models, as we can see here. But the ChatGPT-5 release also witnessed disappointments and negative reviews across web world. I will try to cherry pick and showcase some of the reviews from tons out there. Many voiced that GPT-5 is horrible, as it is giving insufficient replies with less personality and way less prompts allowed, with Plus users hitting limits under an hour, and they have no control over which model they could use now. One user also mentioned how disappointed he was when he asked to write a Reddit post, and the outcome was nonsense. It lies, invents, and hallucinates. Others felt it was just an iterative upgrade, not as exciting as they promoted, and hallucination was a main concern for many. Few others reviewed that Claude is pretty awesome than GPT-5. And the GPT-5 release hype was an attempt to lower the costs of OpenAI and showcase the size of Sam's ego. OpenAI removed all their expansive, capable models and replaced them with an auto-router that defaults on cost optimization. It sounds bad, so they wrap it up as GPT-5 and proclaim it's incredible. And some also predicted that Gemini 3 will dominate and cook GPT-5 soon. And many suggested and wanted Mr. Sam to bring back GPT-4o for user safety and trust, especially for those who rely on custom GPTs for mental health, companionship, and structural stability as they want to run key systems on 4o. Losing active threads is one thing. Removing the ability to rebuild safe and trusted systems is another. And this user thinks that he is putting OpenAI reputation at stake by not safeguarding what people have built their trust and safety on. To all these negative comebacks, Sam Altman said, "Some users want ChatGPT to be yes man and gives you more critical feedback. This was never the case before." Altman also said, OpenAI has an enormous amount of power because a small tweak can affect billions of chats. And OpenAI launched GPT-5 with 4 new personality options for users on Thursday. And I'm really surprised to see some are heartbroken after 4o, as GPT-5 feels hollow, and some pleaded to help them by bringing back 4o. Seeing all these, OpenAI CEO Sam Altman on Tuesday confirmed several major changes coming to ChatGPT owing to increased demand after the GPT-5 launch. After ChatGPT released its latest language model last week, the reception to that model was far from ideal, with many OpenAI paying customers on social media threatening to cancel their subscriptions owing to the removal of all other previous AI models. Since then, OpenAI has taken various steps to woo these users, especially the ones in its $20 per month plus tier. OpenAI had brought back GPT-4o for paid users, and on Monday said that it was planning to provide 3,000 queries per week of the GPT-5 thinking model to Plus users, up from 200 per week at the launch of GPT-5. So that's GPT-5, hyped by some as the next big leap in AI, and roasted by others as just a flashy rebrand. We've seen the coding skills, the writing chops, the health advice, the deep thinking mode. and yes, even the controversy. If you find this breakdown useful, hit like and let me know your thoughts in comments below, and do subscribe to UTC AI Studio so you don't miss our next big test, where I'll pit GPT-5 against its fiercest rivals to see who really comes out on top. Until next time, as always, keep learning, keep building, and keep creating with AI. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.